For Claire and I, our mission at TranscribeRight is to provide a truly comprehensive transcription course that draws on our combined 30 years experience in the industry. Our focus is on empowering those who want more freedom and autonomy over their work-life balance by providing the necessary tools and knowledge to achieve this. This morning, Claire talked to Carol, one of our former students who's now working and earning as a transcriber, about our TranscribeRight course. The interview covers questions you may have about our course and how it will guide you on your journey to working from home.
Carol, what made you choose TranscribeRight?
Well, I actually looked around for quite a while before I took the plunge. I liked the international elements of it. It wasn't just American, it wasn't just British. I felt like it would serve an international community for English speakers, which is what I really liked. I liked the levels because I was a complete beginner. I had virtually no knowledge about any of it. And so I thought that starting at the beginner's level and progressing through slowly would really work for me. And there were lots and lots of practice transcripts, which I really thought would be very, very helpful. The reviews were really positive of TranscribeRight when I looked into it. And also the YouTube clips. I watched the clips of yourself and Sonia, and it felt really personable. So I felt like I could almost trust you without actually meeting you, you know, because you put yourselves out there. So yeah, it felt right to choose it.
Oh, great. And you've answered my second question, really, that you had looked around at other courses. There are a few out there, and they're very, very varying. You know, some are lots of very short snippets, but we didn't think, when we looked around anyway, that we could find anything that covered everything that we've come across in our lives as transcribers. Did you find the format of the lessons and the content helpful?
I did. Yes, I felt really guided through it. I thought it was really structured. It was very simple, clear and logical. And I like that sort of thing, being able to see how it's going to work through. I didn't feel overwhelmed by it to start out with. There was a good mixture of text and video and audio. So it all seemed really clear and helpful in the way it guided me through.
And did you join our Alumni Club on Facebook?
I did, immediately, and it was really helpful because it's quite a big step, obviously, taking on something so different, and it was great to be able to communicate with others and to feel like I was part of a community, starting this solo job based at home, which was so different. So it was nice to be able to reach out and actually speak to other people about what was happening.
Did you find that direct access sort of to other students and to us helpful if you were struggling with anything or you had queries?
Yes, I really plagued Sonia, I have to say. She was really helpful. I sent email after email, starting with an apology. I'm sorry I've got all of these questions, but she answered them all. So it was really useful. I felt really supported and really encouraged. And with the other students as well, it was really nice to be able to interact and to ask each other how we were getting along. And I felt like I was becoming more familiar with everybody. And it, as I said, it's a solo opportunity, but I still felt part of a community. So that was really important.
Oh, that's great to hear. And did you feel that the advanced course really set you up for the real world of transcription?
Well, yes. I was scared when I did some of those transcripts in the advanced course, I have to say, but I must admit that I've never met anything quite so horrendous since. So in a way it does set you up because it shows you what might be out there, and giving you something that's more difficult than you will probably ever deal with I don't think it's a bad thing a bad way of doing it. It also helped me realise what was acceptable and what wasn't acceptable, because being a complete beginner, I wouldn't have a clue as to what I should be receiving or not. So yeah, I really felt a little worried when I did that part of the course, but then I realized why it was there, and that, you know, I probably will never need to work at that level of audio again.
I hope you don't ever have bean bags. We put that in there because we once got a series of focus groups, and I think there were probably 6 or 8 participants, all males. And the people running the focus groups thought it was a really good idea to put all these middle-aged men, quite conservative middle-aged men, on beanbags, made them take their shoes off and, like, you know, just sort of pat each other on the shoulders. And it was very funny, actually, really. But just having that many people moving around on beanbags, and then, you know, they're bringing in food at the same time. And I said, when we were trying to think about, you know, what is challenging, what have we come across, I said, Sonia, we have to do beanbags, but we only had one person. Well, it was myself and another person in that particular bit. But yeah, hopefully, you know, you'd like to think that, given that most people want the best transcript available, that, you know, beanbags wouldn't be the first thing that sprang to mind.
I distinctly remember the car ones. I have to say, the ones in the car were really, really tricky, because you could hear the car engines and the other vehicles and things like that. But in retrospect, I really do appreciate that it was in there.
That one was in there because there was one particular interview that we were doing, and they ran out of time, and so the interviewer picked up the recording as she was driving back to the city. So we had a gentleman who was on the phone in her car with a Glaswegian accent as she was driving back to Melbourne. So, okay, cars are a good one.
Right.
Is there anything you'd like to see added to the course?
I did wonder about extra website suggestions. I know there are some website suggestions in there, but I'm thinking of like spelling and grammar and popular dictionaries and things like that, because I've kind of rooted around myself and found things that might be useful, but sort of coming from the people who run the course, it would have maybe been helpful to say, this is a really good one that we particularly use, or we particularly like, perhaps.
Great. Okay. Well, we love feedback, so that's definitely something that we'll look at. It's not a set and forget course. Sonia's actually right now working back through it and updating some of the videos. Now her equipment, she's got better equipment and filming things now. So it's always something that we're working on and improving, hopefully. Did you feel that
another thing, can I just say one more thing? I don't know if it's appropriate, but I'm really curious about the behind the scenes practices. So following the advanced course, I don't know if it's a possibility of looking into, you know, how it works when you have clients and how you communicate with them and how work is uploaded and how it's sent back. But I don't know if that's a little bit too much handing it to you on a plate kind of thing as well. But
no,
that's
certainly something that we could actually add to. We were thinking at one point, should we go on beyond the advanced course to, like, I don't know, just the next level, but we hadn't actually. But that's a very good point. We could certainly do that. So you're talking about, like, sort of how. So obviously, for those watching, we're talking about TranscribeRight's course at the moment, but there's also another part which Carol also is a part of, which is Team Transcripts, which is our transcription company. So you're more keen on how we deal with our client volume and how we talk to them and that kind of thing. Okay, yeah, we could certainly do that, like a masterclass.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and how, once you've completed the course, if you start work for yourselves, how to actually go about dealing with those kind of things that the course trains you with your transcription skills, but not actually of how to run the business. Although it does touch on it, and I did appreciate the parts it did touch on, but I think possibly further.
Okay. Well, that is something we will definitely look at. That's great feedback. So we will work on that. Then a masterclass. Okay, we can do that. Did you feel that the course was good value for money?
I did. I got it at a discounted rate, which always helps. But it was comprehensive training, and it really gave me the confidence to feel like I actually knew what I was doing and that I could take that career path. So absolutely, yes.
Awesome. That's wonderful. And how long do you think it took for you to complete the course from start to finish?
It took almost 5 months, but just doing a couple of hours each day. Initially, I found it very, very difficult to sit and to work for that period of time. So I just limited myself to 2 hours a day. And it took about 5 months to do that. But I was very dedicated, and I did actually do the 1 to 2 hours each day to make the most of it and to work through it.
That makes such a big difference, because each lesson builds on the last. And it is, I think there is a misconception out there that, oh, well, you type from home and you go, oh, transcription is actually very different from just typing. It's you're processing things, you're listening to things. And yes, the ability to just sit and do 60 minutes, audio. I wouldn't recommend necessarily that somebody sits there and just knocks it off from start to finish without a break. Obviously, it's much better to get up and walk around sort of every half an hour to an hour. But, people can, but, and lots of people go, oh, well, 60 minutes, that probably takes you 60 minutes to type. And they have no idea that, you're looking at a minimum of 3 to 4 hours, even if the audio is quite clear. And if you've got a bad audio or strong accents, it can take up to 6 hours. So
yes, absolutely.
What do you enjoy most about transcription and working from home?
Well, I mean, it's such a better work-life balance, which is what you both said during the course. I really appreciate having the freedom to arrange my time, being able to nip out to the hairdressers and have appointments, put the laundry out, take a walk around the garden, go out for a cycle ride during the day and things. It's far more flexible. And actually, during COVID times, I hasten to mention it, but it's been absolutely perfect because I can stay home. I don't have to go out amongst whatever's going on in the world, really. And so, I've got better quality of life being at home with my family, maintaining friendships with friends that I found very difficult in my previous career. So it's absolutely perfect. I feel like a different person, and everyone says to me, wow, you're looking so good, you're looking so healthy. What have you done? Well, I've changed career.
Oh, it's fantastic. But yes, I do agree with you. I think for us transcribers, going into lockdown and thing, it was sort of, this is sort of my normal life in terms of this is where I work. So I didn't have to worry about setting up a defined workspace. And I think a lot of people found that quite difficult. And also we were already used to, dealing with working from home, which is and in of itself, it's quite something. Not everybody is cut out for it, but it's great to hear that was the reaction that you're getting from people. That's fantastic. Is there anything else that you would like to add at all, Carol, before I let you go?
I would just like to say that the style guide suggestion, all the work that we did on the style guide throughout the course, building it up, starting it off, is absolutely invaluable because I still have it running through my work. I add to it all of the time little bits, personal things that I find a little bit tricky or I'm not certain of, and I look it up and I put it in there. So I've built up, or I'm currently building, this huge style guide, and I think that's really invaluable, the way that worked through the course, and then can continue it on now the course is finished.
Brilliant. Oh, well, thank you so much for your time. I know it's evening there, it's 6 o'clock in the morning here. But it's actually lovely to speak to you because although Carol and I do work together, of course, given the fact that I'm in Australia and she's in Spain, it's not often that I get to see you face to face. So that's lovely.
Yes, it's very pleasant. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you very much for having me and for fielding all those questions to me.
That's great. Thank you so much, Carol. And I'll see you via the keyboard at some point soon.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Thanks, Carol.
Take care. Have a pleasant day.
And you. Bye-bye.
As you can hear in Claire's voice, we love what we do. And there is nothing better for us than seeing one of our graduating students flying free into the world, living life the way they choose. If you've ever dreamed about working from home Why not be like Carol and make that dream a reality? Head on over to www.transcriberight.com to find out more, or email Claire and I at contact@transcriberight.com. As you've just heard from Carol, we're here every step of the way and for every question you have. From Claire and I, happy transcribing.